Hey guys, so we've been looking at lesson 9.1, solving linear systems by graphing. And in a few sections ago, we did learn how to graph linear system or linear equations. So remember, a linear equation is an equation of a line, and system just means two or more. So I just want to review how to graph these in case you have forgotten or maybe you struggled with it the first go around. So the first equation here can be graphed easily using your slope and y-intercept. This is y equals mx plus b. M is my slope. It's a 1 in this case. B is 4. We always start with our b because it's on the y-axis. So our y-intercept is 4. So I'm going to put a point at 4. And then I'm going to use the slope of 1. There's no number there, so we assume it to be a 1, which tells you to rise and run. So we rise 1 and run 1. So you can also go down 1 and back 1. Two negatives, remember, make a positive. So the first line I graphed here in blue. All right, so let's graph. Let me see if I can draw a line here. Well, that's not too bad. All right. All right, let's make our second line in red. All right, so this one is in standard form. AX plus BY equals C. When it's in standard form, you can graph this quickly by either putting it in slope-intercept form, so you can subtract x to the other side, or you can find your x and y intercepts by substituting 0 in one at a time. So let's go ahead and look at both ways. So first, if we set this equal to 0, so we just subtract x from both sides, so we get negative x plus 6. In one quick step, we can graph the y-intercept. And we can use the slope of negative 1 to graph your other points. Remember, negative 1 is down 1. Positive 1. Down 1 is negative, and then to the right is a positive value. All right, so the other way to do it is just substitute x for 0. So if you say let x be 0, that means y has to equal 6. And then if I let y be 0, then that means x has to be 6. So 0, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see you can quickly do that either way, whichever way you prefer is fine. See if I can draw another line here. All right, so it says solve the system by graphing. So to solve by graphing means we have to find the intersection point. So if we look at this, we can see that the intersection point is right here. And so that is point 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our solution to the system would be 1, 5. Okay, and that's just an ordered pair. All right, let's look at one more. All right, it says graph each system, estimate the coordinates of the solution to the nearest integer. So pretty much the same thing. All right, so let's start with blue again. So let's do the first equation in blue. Again, I can find my x and y intercepts quickly, or I can solve for y quickly. Whatever you prefer is what you should do. But it's best if you know how to do both of these, because state test and ACT time test, it's helpful if you can quickly do this. So again, let's take the first equation. Let's just substitute 0 in for x. So I'm going to put 0 in for x. 0 times 2 is 0, plus something equals 10. So y has to equal 10. And then if I let my y equal 10, and then 2x equals 10 divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. All right, so if I want to graph these, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, let's see if I can move my line down a little bit. I don't know if I can or not. All right, let's see if that works. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. All right, so my blue line, I'm going to have a Y-intercept at 10. And then, oh, I put 10 in here instead of 0. Sorry about that. All right, so when my Y is 0, 2x equals 10 divided by 2, 5. So 5, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then to quickly, let's see if I can put a line down through here. Let's see if I can make that blue. Alright, so I'm just trying to cover that red line up. It doesn't matter if it's red, except I'm going to make the next line red. So actually, maybe I'll just use orange or something instead. Alright, so the second equation, again, I've got to find either my x and y intercepts, or I have to solve for y. Since both of these have a number, it'd probably be easiest to find my x and y intercepts again. So let's say let x be 0. So if x is 0, this cancels. 2y equals 7. 7 divided by 2. All right, so that's 2, 4, 6. That's 3.5. So you can write that as 7/2 or 3.5. Either way, whatever's easiest for you when it comes to graphing. All right, again, let's do the same thing. Let's make our y 0. All right, and then this one's going to be, if this is 0, we're going to have negative 2x equals 7, and divide 7 by negative 2, so negative 7/2. So that would be negative 3.5, 0, and then we can graph that. So let's see if I can graph this in orange this time. All right, so 0, 3.5, x is 0, y is 3.5. So 1, let's see, 1, 2, 3 and a half. And then negative 3.5, so if my x is negative 3.5, 1, 2, 3.5 is here. And then we can say, what is our slope? So let's say up 1, 2, 3.5 and over 1, 2, 3.5. So our slope is basically 1. So we can go up 1, 2, 3.5 again. 1, 2, 3.5 again. And that gives us another point. So we try to make an orange line here. I can't move it very well, but I thought I'd be able to move it a little bit. But what we need to do is just kind of see where the intersection would be. So it says to the nearest integer, okay? So if we go over 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably a little closer to here. It looks like my line. I wish I could click on that line and see if it's going to look any different. You can tell I don't play with this much anymore since I don't use it every day. Well, let's just kind of estimate it. So this point up through, if we say up through this point here, You can say the closest integer is going to be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, either 2, 5, or you can say 2, 6. So we're going to say 2, 5, or 2, 6. Now, how can we check to see which one's the better answer? Take your x and y and plug it in and see if it works. And then take your x and y here, plug it in, and see if it works. It looks like these are not going to cross at an integer. It just says to estimate to the nearest integer. So that's what you would do. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know.